Well, this is the best week of the year for a lot of reasons. This is my favorite holiday, like every coach is going to say in his press conference. It's the best week of the year. Thanksgiving, food, family, football, doesn't get any better than this. So, it has always been a fun week. And then you add the element of this game, and it's going to be an awesome week. So we've already started it out on a good note, and are already fully prepared to play this game. So in a good spot. Got all my buddies there in Oklahoma coming up to visit for the game on Friday. Probably have Lincoln and his wife Caitlin, and Beadenbow and Ruffin and Dennis and all those guys that I'm very familiar with, that I was with at Texas Tech for years and years and years. Probably have them over for Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday night. We'll hang out and watch some NFL games together and talk about the good old days, probably, right? So, it'd be a fun week. It should be a fun week for everybody. I know they're excited about it as well. But we do our best as coaches not to look ahead. And obviously, when this one came out, the schedule came out over a year ago. Our hopes were for this game to mean something. And this is the first time in our Big 12 tenure that this game means something. The last game, we've only had the championship game for 2 years, but we knew we were going to have to go through OU to be able to get there. So here it is. We got to go through OU to be able to get to the championship game. So that's we're right where we wanted to be, and this game is going to be exciting. We're looking forward to what's as good as a matchup as you can possibly get. I mean, it's Friday night, Thanksgiving weekend, prime time, 8 o'clock, ABC. A couple of pretty good football teams linking up. Winner goes to the championship game. So explain to me how that gets better. We're really fired up about it. And add to it that it's on our field in front of our fans. Senior night, which 17 of them, and you guys know how about, especially like 12 or 15 of these guys. My thoughts on those guys as far as what they've done for me in the program. So it doesn't get any better than this. And Oklahoma's used to being in this game, so not only are they a really good, talented, well-coached football team, they've been in this game as well. So. Should be fun. Here we go. So offensively, obviously Lincoln's been there for, I guess, 5 years now. Head coach twice, but been calling the same offense there for 5 years. So, and this is the best one they've had. I didn't think there was any chance that I would say that after last year. Last year they were as good as what I've seen in college football. Just well-rounded as any team I've went against. The Heisman Trophy quarterback. NFL guys across the board at running back and O-line, receiver, tight end, fullback. I think they averaged around 8 yards a play last year. And then they come back with a new quarterback and got to replace a couple of linemen and the NFL tight end, fullback, and whatnot. And geez, they're better. Now they're at 8.8 yards a play. Quarterback's hard to tackle. I don't know if you guys know that or not. He's really quick. He's fast. I hear he's a good baseball player. If he's better at baseball than he is at football, it's unreal. But he's really a good player. We've known about him for a long time. Obviously, Coach Spavital recruited him at A&M, and I always followed that and watched him play at A&M, and was really upset when he transferred to Oklahoma because now we had to play against him. So really a good player, fun to watch, hard to tackle. You got to contain him. You're not going to stop him. You're not going to get hits on him. You just got to contain him. Okay. And then so it starts there. But the thing about Oklahoma and Beadenbow's doing a good job with those guys. They got 5-star linemen and they play like it. They play hard. They're physical. They're nasty. They're big. But they do a good job up front just with the schemes that they do in the run game and the pass game as well. Don't, you lose the Anderson kid, who I thought was awesome last year, really a good player. Obviously, he's an NFL guy, he's already declared. You lose him, and they put another 5-star running back in there, the Sermon kid. I think is really a good player. He went down. Don't know if he's playing or not. Hadn't heard anything, but if he is, he is. If he's not, then they just plug another guy in. And in comes Brooks, who's a redshirt freshman, who's just goes in there and rushes for 175 yards against Kansas. So if it ain't him, then they're going to put the next guy in. I don't know if Pledger's healthy, ready to go, but if he is, then he'll be a guy that can rush for 200 yards. And then there's wideouts, 2 and 5. Lamb and Brown are special. Now they're fast. They're coached well. They're talented. They can get behind you. They can catch it underneath. They can make a bunch of guys miss and go the distance. The third receiver is Calcaterra, 80, 6'4", 220. They list him as a tight end. He's not a tight end. He's a receiver. He plays slot receiver 100% of the time. Big body guy, big target, very talented. He can run. He gets out in the open field and he can go. And then they got some tight ends and stuff that they do put in there that give them different kind of looks and make them extremely multiple on offense. So I can keep going on this offense if you want me to. I mean, they're as good as I've seen. And, got our work cut out for us. They run the ball, they throw the ball, they screen you, they scramble, things break down. Quarterback makes them right. Got guys that can score anytime they snap it. So give me one of them games. Got to try to stop them at some point. Defensively, I'm familiar with what they're doing. It's Coach Stoops had been there for a long time. Mike had been there for a long time. Has over the course of his career at Oklahoma, obviously, working for his brother Bob was a staple in what they were doing defensively. Been there for a long time and had a lot of great defenses and is a great defensive mind. I don't know what happened. Things run its course or whatever it is, but I was a part of Ruffin taking over in defense at Texas Tech back, I think it was 2003. 2003, 2000, maybe 2004 or 5, something like that. But, I've known Ruffin since 2000. We were together for a long time, at Tech for 8-9 years and recruited together. One of my best friends ever. And, saw him take over that defense that was struggling that year at Tech. And I know how the guys responded to him. And they got better and better and better and better and better. So that's what I'm anticipating is going to happen with their defense. They have really good players. They've been, schematically, it's pretty similar to what they've been doing. Mike was pretty multiple. It'd be a 4-down team, but would kick the 3 down, play a lot of odd on 3rd down. Just a lot of different things with coverages and players. But their schemes are transitioning a little bit from what I notice. It's going to be interesting to see what their plan is. But in the 4 games that Ruffin's been there, he took over and got a bye week. So how much defense are you going to put in one bye week? You're not going to be able to schematically change a whole lot of stuff. And then over the course of the 4 games that he's been in charge, they've been doing more and more things and reducing some things, but also trying some different things as well. So not quite sure what the plan's going to be when it comes to these guys coming in, but I do know one thing, that they will play hard. They'll play hard, and they'll continue to get them lined up, and they'll continue to get them ready to make plays. Now they've had some injuries. It's one thing you can't count on too much. When guys, from like my point of view, how many of these guys are going to be back, how many are not going to be back. Got to prepare for only what we've seen and who we've seen do it. But they got a good front. 55, the man guy, one of their captains. He's long. You got to understand where he's at. Their linebackers, to me, is where all the experience is. The Mike Murray kid, number 9, It's a good-looking dude now. He's 6'2", 230. His range, I think he had 100 tackles against a specific team earlier in the year. But they got really good experience with those backers. Their corners are guys that can run. And safety-wise, they've been rotating guys just based on injuries and stuff. So playing a lot of bodies, we'll have to recognize what their plan is early and be able to adjust from there. Special teams, they're as good as outfit as we've seen all year. Not only with the specialists, they got one of them. The Siebert kid is as good as I've seen. He's about 90% touchbacks. He's their punter. Gets the thing off quick, is a good hand when it comes to getting the ball off and getting the thing downfield. And then is the all-time leading scorer, I guess, or something like that. He's kicked more extra points and made more field goals than anybody in like the history of college football. Their return game is really good. Number 2, Lamb, as far as the punt returner, is averaging 15 yards a return. He takes chances and has got out 2 or 3 times. Huge week for us when it comes to coverage. And then kickoff returns, they got 5 back there. One of the corners has got real speed. He's like a 10-2, 10-3 guy out of Union there in Tulsa. And is averaging 25, 26 yards a return. So real issues when it comes to their returns. We got to be really good. We got to cover hard. We got to get them on the ground and hope to break stride special teams wise. So complete team, they're obviously a complete team. They're 10-1 for however many years in a row. But bottom line, we'll be ready, and should be a fun night here in Morgantown.
Dana, how have you guys been at bouncing back from disappointment? Do you think you kids handle that well, get it turned around
Yeah,
quickly?
we'll be fine. I don't want to talk about last week or disappointment or any of that crap. We're 8-2, and we're a good football team. That was Big 12 football last week. We got to learn from it. As far as the one thing I say, as far as learning from it, just you got to keep playing no matter what. I don't care if you're up 21 or down 21 or whatever it is, keep playing, and that's a good message in this game moving forward too. So I think Oklahoma State probably did a little bit better job of just playing, just keep playing. No matter what happens, good or bad, just keep playing. That's a message that we've preached around here for a long time. I thought that message was probably heard on their sidelines better than ours.
2/3 of the Maxwell Award finalists in this game. Is this probably the best head-to-head quarterback matchup you've been involved in?
Well, geez, that head-to-head quarterback matchup last week was pretty good too. I mean, that dude was played. I don't know. That guy's a good football player. I talked on the. Who did I talk with on this? It was a question on my conference call Monday about transfer quarterbacks. Anybody hear that? Mm-hmm. So that's Monday, right? Mm-hmm. So, I understand why quarterbacks transfer at times. Will needed a fresh start, and it's obviously worked out for Will, right? We're happy as all get out to have him here, and he's played well, and it's worked out great. Murray goes to Oklahoma for whatever reasons he felt like he needed to leave and get a fresh start, and waited his turn, and is really working out well for him too. Maybe he went there for the baseball program too. I don't know. I guess that worked out as well. But just a great player and has worked out. And then you got this Cornelius kid that just sits there and just waits his turn for 4 years. Quarterbacks typically transfer if they're not the guy. But he just sat there and waited his turn for 4 years and is making the absolute most out of his one opportunity. He was a little shaky earlier in the year, and kind of got a bad rap. We all heard what Coach Gundy said. And, he was right, because that guy played lights out. He has the last 2 weeks. I mean, what he did against Oklahoma 2 weeks ago and what he did against us. I mean, he's a heck of a football player. But as far as this matchup, yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot better. Doesn't get a whole lot better. 2 really good players, similar pass. That should be fun. They're getting better now. Both had a lot of success. Obviously, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. And, we get to watch them play here one last time here Friday night. I'm assuming the Murray kid's leaving after this year, right?
He has to. He makes money for baseball. Hey, what's your take on last night's Monday Night Football game? It was in the 50s, and obviously the Big 12 gets criticized for having similar types of games, and people are lauding that one and criticizing Big 12 defense.
I don't care if they criticize Big 12 defense or not. I mean, it's reality. It's what it is. I mean, I'll tell you one thing that's really interesting, and we talked about it a little bit ago, but there's 3 teams that are alive in the Big 12: West Virginia, Texas, and Oklahoma. And you can really add Oklahoma State into this conversation as well. Look at the scores of those 4 teams. They're all 40s. They're all. We beat Texas 42-41. Texas beat Oklahoma 48-45. Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State 48-47. It's what it is. It's the style of play that exists. It's really good offensive football. It's really good offensive football coaches. It's the style of play. It's fun to watch. And, I don't want to take anything away from Gibby or our defense at all because, there's a lot of other opponents that we played in the Big 12 as well that we were sitting there at number 1 in the Big 12 in scoring defense at like 19.5 per game. But we saw what happened last week, and we know what we got to expect this week. I mean, it's just the style of play with really, really good football players. That's going to be points, and that's what we saw last night. Is the style of play that them 2 teams are doing is Big 12 football. And what I saw defensively is I saw defenses that didn't just sit there and pout and get their dauber down. They made plays, and defensive scored too. How many defensive touchdowns were in that game? 3. So the defenses understand what it is, and that's the style of ball that's going to be played. And it's happening in the NFL. It's fun to watch, but I think you're going to see more of it. I really do. I think teams are going to continue to go that direction in the NFL as well.
It seems like defensive backs are becoming more and more physical with your receivers. How do you counteract that?
Ours, they got to do a better job of using their hands and technique. I thought we were very average at that last week against what I thought was the best cornerback tandem maybe in the country. They were good. I don't know what you guys think of Oklahoma State's corners, but they're 6'2" and 215 pounds and long and got real speed. Good players. Face 2 kids that are not quite as big, but are every bit as fast. We got to use better technique. I think our technique was spotty. And when people are going to get up in our face and play us man coverage like Oklahoma State did, we got to do a better job of technique. I would anticipate Oklahoma's going to watch that and probably put their guys in our face and play man coverage. And if we don't use technique because we think we can, we're just that much better than people, then we'll get covered all day like we did last week.
You know what? Not having beaten Oklahoma since you came into the league.
Appreciate you reminding me of that.
Yeah, well, does that weigh on you at all? And
Not at all.
and what would it mean to the program? And
A lot. It would. It'd mean a lot. This is a big game, and our guys feel like we're ready for it. We've went toe to toe with these guys in the past, and it's been fun games, and then they've whipped us before as well. They've been low scoring games, high scoring games, and they've whipped us. But I feel like this is the best team that we've had. They're every bit as good as they always are, but it comes down to this, and I think we'll be up for the challenge. I think we'll be ready to go. It mean a lot. Now I will say, it ain't the end all now. I mean, I think we've improved our program and our recruiting and our talent and our overall body of work. I think it's continuously getting better. So, as much as I love our seniors and we'll miss them, once this season's over, we'll reload and keep moving forward. And all these experiences, I think, will be good for the younger guys as far as just learning on how it's supposed to be and what the expectations are and how we practice and how we play and the recruiting aspect of it is continuously getting better. So this ain't a do or die situation for me or this program. I will refute that till I can't refute it anymore. But it'd be big. We know it'd be big. Our goal has been the Big 12 championship game. Everybody's goal is the Big 12 championship game. We get an opportunity to play for it Friday night. That's all I can ask for.
You
mentioned the depth they have at running back. I think you throw Murray in, they got 3 guys with over 700 yards this year. How much of that is talent? How much of that is scheme? And what are they doing maybe that makes them so successful?
Yeah, it's everything you just said. They have a passing game element to them that scares you and makes them play back. They have a quarterback that can get involved in the run game, which makes you account for them. They have 5-star running backs that they get the pick of the litter every year. And they got a great O-line. That means that they're going to have 100-yard rushers consistently. It's as simple as that. I mean, you lose. Last time we played them out here, they had a couple of pretty good runs in Mixon and Pirine. You're like, oh, thank God they're not coming back. Well, how does it really matter? And they just keep plugging in the next ones. I mean, they're good players. They recruit well. It's a special place. We all know that. We know how they recruit and what kind of players they get.